What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video, and oh my lord, the vortex has been bananas lately. That's right. We got shots fired, we got strays getting taken. My god, PPP, Phil, back and forth. PPP essentially demolishing DSP last night on his stream and on Twitter. And folks, I always tell everyone you should have a Twitter, because Twitter be fire sometimes. And yeah, PPP is on Twitter, just basically incinerating our boy Phil. But anyway, this video isn't about that. This video is about the daily rap. Let's see what Phil had to say after his essentially meltdown during his podcast last night. And of course, begging is back on the menu, folks. That's right. Only one day of no begs. And Phil said, F that. It's time. It's time go for begging. So let's get into it. Um, I'm pretty sure my video is gonna focus mostly on this, folks. And yeah, what can I say? Don't watch this podcast. It's almost 3 hours of nonsense. Don't waste your time. You can watch my video. I clipped it. I didn't even clip the whole segment. I clipped the most important segment where essentially Phil had a 220 meltdown. That's right. The man just went bananas. He ranted and he raged like a lunatic. And now it's starting to make sense why the police in Renton have flagged Phil as a 220. He is the most delusional person in the world. And you don't have to take Doody's word for it. You can go out to Twitter, like I stated earlier, and go read PPP's messages. I mean, the man is just toasting Phil because he realizes who Phil is. He's boring. He doesn't want to change. He wants to continue doing the same thing. All he does is self pity, woe is me. And it's all factually true. It is. It is. And the most important thing of the podcast, of course, is Phil threatening PPP. That's right. He came out and did I don't know what, a minute segment where he came out and essentially told PPP that if he brings his wife up one more, he did a Will Smith. You know, all I was waiting for was for Phil to go to Canada and pimp smack him. You know, he didn't do that, of course, because he can't leave the snort for it. But he essentially said, keep my wife's name out your mouth, and if you do it again, I'm done with you. That's what he said, right? And of course, whenever you put a challenge out there to someone, you know, they more than likely, you know, if they stand by the words, they're gonna stick it to you, Phil. And that's what he did last night. He shoved the knife in Phil's gut and he twisted it, and then he laughed, and then he did it again. That's right. That's what he did last night. He spent his night mocking Phil on Twitter and laughing at this jokester. He is a jokester. One of the things from the podcast is he talked about his options: option one, option two, option three. Option one would be he would be a shill, right? A corporate shill. He would be a Maximilian. Problem with that, Phil, is no company wants to touch you, you toxic. I mean, dude, you got 187 views on a video that's been out almost 8 hours. Yeah, I'm sure the companies out there are just dying for you to promote their to promote their things. Get real, Phil. Option one is never an option because no one wants to touch your toxic content, your toxic mannerism. You're just a toxic person. You are known in the industry as a toxic person, and no one, dude, not even Raid Shadow Legends would want you to promote their content. Okay, Phil? So that's the first thing. So option one is not an option at all. Option two is where you go full drama and you start, you know, you forget about games and all you do is turn into low-cal live, right? And all you do is spend your day drama content ripping on detractors. You know, there would be a whole duty segment, I'm sure, and all of the detractors and so on. And you would try to turn into, I don't know, I guess Kino Casino West Coast. Dude, First of all, that you should do option two, Phil. Option two, Doody gives approval for option two because I would fucking love it, and it was such a delusional rant, Phil. I would slaughter people, I would bury people, I would end career. Dude, get the Phil. Fuck off, brother. And he was actually talking about, yes, jobs. People would lose their jobs. The only person that would probably lose their job is you, Phil, because of course you would do something extremely regarded and get yourself kicked off of YouTube. For myself, brother, I don't have a job, so I'm good to go, Phil. So to me, option two doesn't worry me the very least. If you want to come at me, Phil, I love it, bro. I would love nothing more than to get that juicy content every day. Can you imagine Doody posting a video or streaming every day about this lunatic and his 220 take on everything? It would just be great. It would be great. I mean, Doody would probably have to hire someone to help him because there would be so much content, so much salt. So option two, I think option two, Phil, I go with that one. But the problem here with option two is you tried it and you're not good at it. You're not witty. You're not interesting. You're boring as fuck. You try to sit the fence because you are worried that you could get demonetized on YouTube because of all your hater base and people reporting you nonstop. So option two isn't an option either. And look how bitchy and whiny you get. August the Duck, a man with 2 million subs, creates a video about you, calling you out for being a greedy scumbag. It gets 400,000 views, and you sit and wallow and cry. You soak so much that it forced you not to beg for a full day. And you had to make up some lame ass, my dead parents are dying again, or whatever excuse bullshit that you're coming up with for sympathy, right? You know, Phil, you would be Minecrafted in the space of drama content. I can just imagine like Keemstar, Mudahar, even Boogie and Wings going after you. It would just be great. This guy would. You think he's balding now? It would be significant. He would completely be bald within like 6 months. You don't have the stomach for it, Phil. You don't have the go-to attitude. That would require. I love when he says it's easy. No, bro, drama content isn't easy. Drama content, you got to put work in it. If you want to sit here and say what like Local Live does and PPP does is easy drama content, nah, bro, they gotta go and find. You gotta find clips, find shit, put it together, and make it fun. They have to make it fun and interesting, Phil. Something you can't do. You just can't. You're not witty. You're not funny. You don't have a good personality. I think your personality is so off-putting. You're one of those people, bro, that you just want to, you see them and you just, for some reason, you get the urge to want to punch them in the face. Not saying you should punch Phil in the face, but, it's just that attitude. And Phil, honestly, going to option two and being a drama content, you really think that the levels of detractors won't increase by tenfold? I mean, you roughly probably got, 10, 15,000 people that dislike you right now. Bro, we would be talking about like hundreds of thousands of people that would just hate on you, Phil. Can you imagine? I mean, this guy can't sleep now because he's worried about little detractors like me, all Tevin Still, Broside Phil, Ebeggar, King Sly. He's worried about those content creators now. Can you imagine if he went full regarded drama content? Anyway, I vote for option two, Phil, if you want my opinion. And then, of course, option three, which was the only option. Continue doing what you're doing. And all this was just one big fucking lame grift to justify why you beg. See, folks, I didn't beg for one day. I didn't beg for one day, and the business I almost went out of business. That's what Phil's trying to prove. I've never met a man who bases his decisions on such small samples. Like he said, this was an experiment. Okay, Phil, I'm assuming you've taken science class before. And when you're running an experiment, you have to, build an hypothesis, and then you got to collect data. You got to collect a broad sample of data, right? And it has to be controlled. It has to have certain elements to it. You simply can't just say, all right, well, starting at this minute, we're going to start doing this. And whatever the results are, then that must be it. You know who does that, Phil? Regarded people, okay? regarded, people. If you're willing to base your life decision on one day, one sample size, you are an idiot. You are a complete, utter fucking idiot if that's what you're willing to do, Phil. But I'm guessing, trust me, if on Monday the Dents came out and wailed out on him, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have used the sample size. He would have waited another day and maybe conducted his experiment again. Bro, that is lame as fuck, Phil. Again, and no one buys it. Not even your Dents buy it, bro. And at the very best, Phil, at the very best of out of all this, you decided to use your chat, your supporters, in an experiment. That's what you're saying, Phil? You decided to use them in an experiment because you wanted to prove some stupid ass point that makes no fucking sense. That's what you want to do, and you wanted to get a sample size so that you can justify that begging is the way to go, Phil. No, Monday's sample, that sample, that data should have told you one thing. What you're doing doesn't work. Playing video games, whatever. Whether you're toxic or not, the days of you sitting there and playing games and expecting 3 to 5 Dents to support you doesn't work, Phil. That's what you should have taken from that small sample size. Not that, oh, well, see, this justifies that what I'm currently doing now is being an Ebeggar to the extreme works, and that's what I need to continue doing. The problem here, Phil, is that eventually that goes away. And if you want to live with that heartburn every single day where you have to worry every day whether your meal ticket's going to be there, whether your meal ticket decides they want to throw you a few shekels, whether if OIC decides you want to fire up one of his socks and drop a $75 tip because you need to get to your tip goal, if that's how you want to live your life, bro, that is a sad, pathetic existence. And you know what's happening right now, Phil? You're just pissing off PPP. He's to the point where he's done with you, man. He's done with working with you because he gave you a chance. And what did you do? Nothing. You did nothing with it. You squandered it. You essentially, what you did was you used his clout, right, to make money, right, to grab a couple additional pay pigs for some months, make some money, and then retreat back to your fucking comfort zone and continue doing the same thing. And that's why he's pissed off at you. Because you're not willing to expand what you're doing. You're doing the same exact thing. And even when you do change it, you do it so fucking regarded. Like your Lego streams. Why aren't you playing music on your Lego streams? Everyone in the world is telling you that. That's a simple thing to do. But because you're too lazy to research, because you're too lazy to realize that YouTube has a catalog of copyright-free, royalty-free music that you can use that will never get your video demonetized. You never have to share revenue, nothing, right? There is a library out there for content creators. This music right here, listen, Phil. You hear that background music, that nice smooth background music when there's silence? Watch this, Phil. You see how nice that sounds? That's free music, Phil. I use this pretty much on all my videos that I do commentary on. It's a great little song, it's a great little tune, and it helps with dead air. This is free, royalty free, brother. Why haven't you realized that? Why haven't you put in the fucking work? No, because you know why? Because he's too fucking busy getting 1,000 RGB components for his shitty office, right? And fucking with the camera because he's too lazy to get his motherboard fixed. Again, another regarded thing. You're so fucking lazy, man. Anyway, I'm done with this sucker. I'm streaming today at 10 o'clock. It's going to be fire. I recommend everyone come out because we're going to go through everything. We're going to go through the tweets. We're going to watch the video of PPP basically calling Fat Cat fat again. And yeah, it's going to be great. Anyway, peace out, everyone.